Let's start from the beginning, actually. So Mississippi State hired Jeff Lebby. Jeff Lebby's got to hire a staff of 10 on-field assistants. Of the previous coaching staff, hey, Dad, he kept 2, correct?
Correct. Chad Bumpus on the offensive side will remain as Mississippi State wide receivers coach. David Turner on the defensive side will remain as Mississippi State's defensive line coach.
And no-brainers there, right?
Pretty much, in my opinion. I thought they would stay. I was pretty sure they would stay. So that leaves you on offense. You need running backs, tight ends, offensive line, and QB/offensive coordinator. Defense, you need linebackers, safeties, corners, and then you need a special teams coach. That's your setup there. So State has announced 2 more coaches here. John Cooper has joined the staff as the tight ends coach. He was at North Texas as their offensive line coach a season ago. He was just announced just a couple of minutes ago. And then a little earlier this afternoon, Anthony Tucker was announced. He was offensive coordinator these past few years at Indiana. And prior to that, had worked with Lebby at UCF as a running backs coach / passing game, running game coordinator. He and Lebby are quite familiar with each other. So he has joined the staff. He is running backs coach and assistant head coach. There's a lot of reporting that Cody Kennedy has made the trip from Arkansas to Mississippi State, but that has not been announced officially by the university as of yet. If you Google Cody Kennedy, and I got Borky with this yesterday, if you know who Malcolm Reed is, that could be his brother. They look exactly alike. It is uncanny how much that guy looks like him. So no surprise that he handles the beef then. So he's got the O-line. And then as far as a quarterback's coach, that hasn't been announced yet. And then obviously the big hire we're waiting on is the defensive coordinator for Mississippi State. I've seen 3 names come out. All of them are interesting. I don't know if they're great hires or not, but they're interesting. Former Texas A&M and former Ole Miss defensive coordinator DJ Durkin's name has been brought up. Former Mississippi State defensive coordinator and former Georgia Tech head coach Jeff Collins has been brought up.
How would that be received?
Let me get the last name out, and then I'll tell you. Former Ole Miss linebackers coach and then was the Indiana head coach until a couple days ago. Tom Allen's name has been brought up. I think with Collins, obviously time heals all wounds. I mean, my goodness, Bobby Petrino is back in Arkansas. When you look at, Collins, it didn't go well for him at Georgia Tech, and I think the transition from the triple option to a more modern scheme was just a tough one. And Georgia Tech is just not a team. They don't recruit well. They're playing better this year, but by and large, it's just tough to win at Georgia Tech. I think at Mississippi State and Florida, he was fantastic. He was really good. You look at his stats. He was the defensive. He was a Broyles Award. I think he won the Broyles Award. I'm pretty sure he did. Great recruiter too, known as that. Of course, it helps when you have those hand drawn pictures of the swag chalice to send out. So I think it'd be fine. I think State fans by and large would be okay with Jeff Collins. I think they'd be okay with DJ Durkin. I think they'd be okay with Tom Allen. The fact that those names have come out, I don't know though. I'm telling you, I always wonder. Like, names get floated, and then you find out somebody you've never heard of is the guy there. So we'll see how that works for Mississippi State.
And Tom Allen just got a $15 million buyout from Indiana. Some guys jump right in. Matt Rule did. Some guys go be an analyst for a year, like Jim Leonard from Wisconsin. He could have gotten a DC job, took a year off. Essentially, he's been analyzing for Brett Bielema at Illinois. So, varying degrees there. First message that I see is boo on Collins. Second one is no Durkin. So, there you go.
Tom Allen it is.
Tom Allen.
And I just got a text from somebody over at Mississippi State. Cody Kennedy has been made official.
Okay,
so he is the offensive line coach at Mississippi State this year.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because we got this message that says, wasn't Arkansas's offensive line horrible this year? It was. Statistically one of the worst in the Power 5. This was also somebody that was a assistant of the year 2 years ago.
He was a semifinalist for the Broyles Award 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any coincidence that when Arkansas went from Kendall Briles to Dan Enos, that everything went to crap.
And it did.
And so Briles, Lebby, those connections are known. My guess is Kendall was like, yeah, he's good. You'll be fine with him. To Jeff Lebby, and he went in and did well. I mean, Arkansas offensively the previous 2 years was really good. Defensively, they were horrible in 2022. And then this past year with Dan Enos, I mean, what can you do? Mm-hmm. The guy was an awful play caller.
Extended thoughts on another addition to the Mississippi State staff.
Yes, I think we mentioned this a second ago, Matt Holichek is his name. I assume it's Holichek because his Twitter handle is Holichek yourself. So it must be check and not keck there on the end there. He comes to Mississippi State, like I said, from Oklahoma, as we mentioned, or maybe didn't mention, but he was at Ole Miss with Lebby as well as a grad assistant, so has been with him for a long time. He is the quarterbacks coach at Mississippi State. So the offensive staff now done. Holichek getting quarterbacks, Anthony Tucker, running backs, Chad Bumpus, wide receivers, Cody Kennedy, offensive line, John Cooper, tight ends.
So when this initially happened, there were some fans talking about the possibility of hiring like a sitting offensive coordinator from somewhere else. That was always a far-fetched idea, and not because it's Mississippi State, but because no sitting OC that's calling plays is going to take a job under Jeff Lebby to not call plays. It was always going to be somebody like this that would be the QB's coach and get a real opportunity to add a huge resume line for him.
Right. Yeah, if Lebby had come out Monday night and said, I probably won't call plays, then that opens the door for somebody like a Kendall Briles or a true offensive coordinator. But because he is calling the plays, like you said there, why would an offensive coordinator come in and just be a quarterback's coach? Now, I mean, you get the money, I guess, you get the title, but offensive coordinators want to call plays. So, yes, this is the correct setup for Mississippi State.
John at Oxford